So, real quick here, I was searching YouTube and I really couldn't find any good videos how to make a privacy screen for a deck. So I'm going to go ahead and go over a couple steps that I did to go ahead and achieve this. First step was to go ahead and attach this 4x4 right here. One thing I found with attaching the 4x4s is need to focus extra on making sure that they are plumb up and down when it comes to leaning back and forth in relation to the deck. So for example, right here, you don't want it leaning backwards, forward. You want to make sure when you put the 4x4 in that it is exactly straight up and down. I went ahead and toe nailed this 4x4 in. I was initially concerned that it wasn't going to be strong, but using some 3.5-inch deck screws and toe nail it in on mainly from this angle right here. I did 2 screws in there, 2 screws down, and I added a third one here because I was trying to go ahead and make it perfectly vertical. I did have to go ahead and sand a little bit of material off the original handrail here, and I've noticed that it is really important that you go ahead and get this straight up and down as much as possible. For your back and forth lateral movement, obviously when you put the top cap on, you can make some adjustments based off of that, but first step is putting the 4x4s in, and I try to get them as much as aligned as possible. Quick tip on toenailing something in, I got this screw right here. When you go ahead and determine where you want it, it's a pretty good idea to go ahead and just drive a temporary screw into the top material. That way when you go ahead and attack the toenail screws from this side using 3.5-inch deck screws, you do not, the 4x4 does not walk on you. Once you got the 4x4s in, the next step is to go ahead and create just this piece right here and this piece right here, kind of like the picture frame. So the 4x4s were up at that point. I went ahead and I screwed these pieces together right here. And with this right here, I actually did these off of the deck. And I drove 3.5-inch deck screws from this 2x4 into there with the thought of it's going to go ahead and add extra layer of support. And then once this is screwed in and then this is screwed into there, as you can see, it is pretty solid right there. Once that was completed, obviously I went ahead and put the top plate on. The top plate seemed to be that went on pretty smooth, and at that point you can go ahead and make your adjustments back and forth to make sure everything is plumb. At that point, I went ahead and put a 2x2 on the back side. And that 2x2 right there, it basically is where the lattice goes ahead and nails onto. And then at that point, it was just a matter of putting the 2x2 up, and I still have to go around and add 2x2 on the outside. On the inside, actually, I apologize. And I just went ahead and used 2-inch brad nails all the way around that. So once I get that completed, I'm going to go ahead and call this a completed project. This was the better lattice that Lowe's had. One thing over here right quick is I'm a little wobbly over here. Not too bad, but it's nothing to do with the actual privacy screen that I built. It's actually the floor joists are wobbling. So what I'm going to do down there is I'm going to go ahead and put some brace in to connect this floor joist right here to this floor joist over here. At that point, we'll go ahead and stabilize the privacy screen in. I couldn't be happier because now I have a nice little place to eat breakfast, and I got a pretty view of the woods and not the neighbors. So like I said, I didn't see any good videos on how to make a privacy screen on YouTube, and hopefully this helps you out. And in conclusion, I was initially concerned that toenail and a 4x4 in was not going to be strong enough, but it's definitely pretty stout, and looking forward to many years of enjoyment out here with the privacy screen.